everybody. Welcome to week 0 of the wrap-up. The high school football season is underway. Two-a-days are a thing of the past. And Matt, with that heat today, aren't you glad you didn't have to go through two-a-day practice? What'd you say, 150?
150 on the field at the 4:30 Bivens game. I felt like my shoes were melting to the turf.
That's disgusting. Okay, first, before we get into games, we want to introduce you to one of our new segments. It's our Pick'em Challenge and something that you can take part in online, our Pick'em for the 2013 season.
Pick'em is brought to you by Domino's Pizza.
And what we're doing for this, our panel of experts, myself, Matt Hamilton, Clint Brakebill from News Channel 10, Lance Larnard of the Amarillo Globe News, and Phil Woodall of the Texas Panhandle Sports Network, picking 3 games every week. You can see our selections there. Now, the fun part of this will be the fact that you get to take place in these games. We're trying to stir up some fun with it, and let's see who the fans pick this week. They go Tascosa, Bushland, and Perryton in our trio
Good job, fans.
of those games, and we'll get into those highlights, see who's right. The only difference this week in Bushland and Borger, and that'll come up after our first commercial break. All right, Matt, so there's our Pick'em Challenge. That's going to be a lot of fun this year. Now, as we transition into some game action, a game that's not on our Pick'em, but very intriguing because our most successful big school last year, Amarillo High, loses just an unbelievable amount of talent, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and a lot of those guys two-way players. 10 starters gone from last year. 10 new guys for the Sandies. What do you think happens here? We don't know. We know that some of the running back depth is there because we saw a little bit of that last year, but that's about all we know.
Well, we also know that Coach Mel Maxfield has had to replace players each year that he's been here. Or that's what he told us during two-a-days, and he says he's hoping it's not more of a rebuilding year, but so much a reloading year. He's running a 2-quarterback system. He's got, like you said, running back depth from last year, and we know he's going to run the football. That wing T, always very effective for the Amarillo High Sandies.
Let's watch him run.
We're going to go first quarter, no score. Odessa's Ryan Martinez off play action, looking really deep, finding Zach Harris. But check out Braden Marischok, going to take him down at the 1-yard line. Sandy defense would hold up. They only hold him to a field goal. Then we talked about running back depth. Here comes Dion Lynch, right up the middle, shedding tacklers into the end zone. 7-3, Amarillo High in the lead. Later in the first quarter, same score. Martinez looking deep again, but it's Marischok. Another great defensive play. Tip drills it to himself. Play of the week candidate. He's up the right sideline.
It's a solid play.
Very nice return. Then later in the second quarter, ensuing drive, Matthew Ortega, 1/2 of that 2-quarterback system, finds Dally Burney in the end zone. 14-3, Amarillo High up at that point. They go on to get the win by a final of 35-3. Our man Clint Brakebill caught up with Coach Mel Maxfield after the game to talk about the victory.
Well, we're here with Coach Maxfield, the head coach of the Amarillo High Sandies. Coach, talk about the very first play of the game. They take it down to the 1-yard line, and you get a goal line stand. What is that? How does that set the tone for your defense going forward throughout the game?
Well, our defense has a lot of pride. I thought that was an outstanding play by Braden Marischok not to quit on the play, and that's what we stress. Don't ever quit on the play because you never know what will happen the next snap. And we were able to kind of get back, to our knees a little bit and get on our feet, and was able to hold them to a field goal, which I thought was huge, early in the ball game like that. And then we were able to answer that with a good, solid drive, got a score and put back-to-back scores. And then we got a little inconsistent. It's something that you don't want to see, but sometimes that's what the norm is for a first ball game.
Coach, a lot of speculation what we were going to see from the offense. 10 new starters on that side of the ball. Talk about what you saw from your guys tonight, especially holding a lead in the second half and continuing to score.
Well, I was pleased how both quarterbacks played. That was our plan going in. And sometimes people, question that you got to have just one, but we don't see it that way. Isaac and Matthew practiced really hard, and they performed well tonight. Both of them threw the ball. Thought we caught and threw pretty good for us this early. We'd still like to be a little more consistent in the run game.
Coach, big game next week against Tascosa. What do you think you guys need to work on for next week?
Well, we got to, get disciplined on defense to defend the triple option. Tascosa, this is their second year with it. I saw them last night. They're executing it a lot better. They're always scrappy on defense. And, we got to look within ourselves to improve. Of course, it's a big ball game. There's no way to back off of that scenario. You can't just say, it's just another ball game, because it's not. But it's an opportunity for us to get better. There'll be a lot of intensity. The atmosphere ought to be great, and it's exciting to be part of those kind of situations.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the win, Coach, and good luck next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach. 35-3 victory for the Amarillo High Sandies, and next week they take on that crosstown rival, Tascosa. For now, we'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Clint. We'll have Clint out there interviewing coaches after games all season long. Very excited to have him on the wrap-up team this season. Let's go to Randall and Plainview. Down in Plainview in the first quarter, it's 7-0 Randall, but Plainview coming back. Paxman Aldfred, a beautiful throw to Des Vera. And then Randall on the other side, it's number 5. We didn't get the name on that. Ernest Marshall. Oh, we did get the name. Ernest Marshall. Tackled there by Brennan Lavrie. And then Oldfield again for Plainview. Finds Des Vera again. Randall Raiders, they lost a lot. How about that score? Let's take it in there. Randall gets the win, 30-12 over Plainview. Nice job by the Raiders to come out and answer some of those questions, and that's going to be a big part of it, Matt. And let's take you to our game of the week now.
It's a big one.
Dumas and Perryton, and Dumas with a new head coach, Chad Dunham. But they return. They lost Rylan Gerber. They're like a lot of 3-4A teams, lose a quarterback, but they bring a ton of talent back other places.
Right.
It's really the question of, can their offensive line get it done this year? Because if they can, Dumas could be a sneaky, sneaky team in 3-4A that makes a challenge for a district title.
Well, we've said it before, Dunham, a defensive specialist, and you would hope to think that, they always say defense wins championships. Right now, it looks like our viewers think that Perryton is going to be the one to come up with this victory.
The Rangers very good too. Coach Flowers now with his system fully in place up there in the northeast part of the Panhandle, and Perryton should be a major contender in 1-3A. But let's take it to you, our game of the week.
Game of the Week brought to you by Popular True Value and Nana's Jewelry and Gifts.
First quarter, here we go. Running out with the Texas flag to lead the way, but it's Dumas, Benton Bilbrey rolling right, finding Nathan Thomas, a 10-yard gain. And the Dumas offense is rolling early. Later in the first, Bilbrey to Thomas. Complete, but Thomas, the ball slick. A nice punch out by the Perryton defense, and they would recover. Then later in the first quarter, Perryton with the football. Justin Ventura, we talked to this young man at summer celebration, and he would hand off to Jake Wittenberg. We also spoke to him, and he's going to have a nice 15-yard gain. Then later in the first, Ventura to Thomas, intercepted by Dumas's number 4, and that defense showing through, Jacob. Later in the first, wild snap, Perryton gets the ball and gets the safety. That would be a 2-0 lead, but it's Dumas.
How about a big 2 points there that almost came back to get the Demons?
Dumas, a 1-point win, 29-28.
Dumas shocks all of our critics here. We all picked
Perryton.
How
Now
about
let's show you Hereford, Lubbock, Estacado. Third quarter, 7-0 Hereford already, but Lubbock's Robert Johnson with a very long touchdown. Did you see how patient he was coming around the right side? Makes a nifty move, makes a couple guys miss, and he's into the end zone. We're tied at 7. Later, more Johnson on the ground. Into the end zone, lays out, stretches out, 14-7 Estacado in the lead. But Hereford, quarterback Dane Lowry, a nice pass to John Mendoza. Then more Lowry, this time keeping it himself, up the middle, shedding tacklers left and right, and he's into the end zone. That would tie the game at 14, but that's all the scoring we would see from the White Faces as Lubbock Estacado gets the win by a final of 27-14.
Let's go to Canyon and Lubbock High down in Lubbock. Third quarter, 15-0 Eagles. Blake Weaver to Nathan Spencer on the little handoff, and it's 22-0 Canyon. Ensuing possession. Lubbock High driving, but Hunter Reese, watch this defensive play along the sideline. Gets in there last second to break up the pass. You love to see that kind of effort from your defenders. Then Canyon on the other side of it. Weaver this time with his legs. And Canyon looking strong in the opener. They get the win 43-21 over Lubbock High. And speaking of Canyon, how about our first junior riders feature? D's of Canyon. Check out newschannel10wrapup.com, our first junior riders feature. You'll love it, and you'll see more of that this year. More action, Matt.
Let's go Caprock and Snyder.
As we see the Canyon score again, now let's go to the Caprock-Snyder score if we can. We don't have the video on that one, but we can tell you that Caprock got the win. Matt, here's what's important.
28-21.
Went down to Snyder, got the win 28-21 over Snyder, and they're also returning, or replacing, I should say, a ton on offense, including one of the best pass-catching duos we've seen ever in the Panhandle, Michael Guerrero and Addison Bustos. So a nice win and a nice job. And how about a 21-point effort from their defense, Matt? Because that was the problem last year, and I know that's where they put a lot of emphasis. So a nice job by the Longhorns in Week 1.
Let's rewind to Thursday. Another District 3 4A team in Palo Duro having to replace an injured quarterback in Malik Sims, taking on the 5A Tascosa Rebels. First quarter, no score. Jermaine Westmoreland, a very nice football name for what looks to be a good football player, with the sack of Tucker Davidson for the big loss. Then Tascosa's Joseph Boyd, he's going to fumble. Justin Lewis recovers for the Dons. Things rolling in favor of Palo Duro, but one thing we know is Anton Turner can run the football up the middle. You got to be careful with it, though, as he drops it. Tascosa's Caden Edwards with the recovery. Then later in the second quarter, we know Tucker Davidson can do one thing, and that's throw very well. He looks for an open receiver, rolls left, deep to Brandon Marshall for the touchdown. No Bears fans, not that Brandon Marshall. 7-0, Tascosa in the lead. And they hold on to get the win. A very nice defensive effort, holding that Don offense to just one touchdown, and it's a field goal the difference in this 10-7 victory for the Rebels.
Tascosa matches their win total from a year ago. Congratulations to them. The Dons, they've got to get things going. A tough loss of Malik Sims, their senior quarterback, maybe for the year. We'll see how they respond. A good defensive effort in that first week. And I was told we may have got cut off on our junior rider there. That's Cortland Dees this week of Canyon. Now, we got some great articles from several young aspiring journalists. You can go to newschannel10wrapup.com, check them out, and we will feature some of those guys throughout the weeks here of the high school football season. Matt?
A few things that we did learn about 3-4A. Amarillo High is here to stay. Doesn't look like they're going to skip a beat. Canyon returns a ton. They come out and make a statement with a big victory. Randall wins.
Caprock wins.
Dumas wins.
Palo Duro falls, but in a tight one to a 5A team.
So 3-4A, no change from last year. Going to stay neck and neck all year, it appears.
Here we go again, and here we go into our next set of games, including a big one between Bushland and Borger. We also made predictions in that game. That was where most of our differences were. We'll go over that game, get you into our pick'em standings, and continue right along here. Week 0's edition of the Wrap-Up. Come right back with us here on News Channel 10.